go. What was I saying? This can go over here. This can go. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Don't think I need that. Don't think I need that just yet. Oh, let me tell you, mother. I did my. Mother. You would think if you saw my rapping job for Christmas, you would think I was a special needs. Like
Every year I say that.
It was not good because I thought I was doing Michael's gifts, and I realized let's put it this way. You know it's bad when you have to use multiple pieces of it's like you have to do it that way. That's always pretty brutal. So that's how I knew. I was like, man, this Christmas is going to be tough for people. So I wrapped it. I was like, Michael. And then I realized it was Jordan. So Jordan's going to think I'm a complete and utter buffoon.
Yeah. Nice.
What did you see?
She's going to think one of her students did it for her.
Yeah, really.
For one of my kids in grammar school.
Put that there. Put that there. Boom, boom. Mother,
I've had a couple moments where my rapping, I started to do it, and I'm like, oh, this is a little short. Oh, well.
Yeah, there was somewhere I was really struggling today.
Oh, jeez.
Really struggling. But yeah, all my rapping's done. I'm excited for Dad to come so I can... Tomorrow I have to give the Naps and Grandma their gift. I already told you the gift for Grandma, but I got some good ones. Uncle Jerry still hasn't come. That one thing that was supposed to be here finally came. So it literally came the day after I told the seller, like, hey, can you send me a new one? So luckily it ended up coming. Yeah.
Did you find it today? Or okay.
Yeah, it came, which was weird. It said, no, it said that it came the 12th, and then today I got my package notification from Amazon. Well, my Luxor package system, and then they were like, yeah, here it is. I was like, okay. You're only literally 8 days late.
Well, Grandma struggled to order 3 gifts for her beau and ship them up to him in Adirondack, New York. Finally saw them because I get the emails. They all went out. I just get a text on the way to church from Aunt Sue. They screwed up the order. Could you send me the email so I can... Not that she could do anything. She doesn't have the account.
Right.
So I had to shut my phone off because I was going to church. Please shut your phones off when you go to church. And then I put it on when I came out, and she goes, I don't know what he's talking about. He's saying they sent extra large. They didn't send it. He's saying they sent one size that was wrong. They haven't even sent the item yet.
I would just give up at that point. I just go, cool. Okay. I tried. I'm not fixing it. I tried. Yeah. Yeah, right. I'd be like, I tried and I gave up.
Get off my back. I got your gift. We're done.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I'm officially done today. I went out early this morning. Had to get more ingredients for the Mo cake, the poppy seed cake. Remake that today, which didn't come out as well. But when I was describing to Dad the problem with my ratios, I said, I'm going to have to math the hell out of this for next year.
Yeah, really write it down like you're doing a lab project.
I do that I write in the margins, try this next year, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But I decided this year, and it wasn't a bad move to just make 2 of them. We don't need 3 anymore since Grandma's living with one of us. She doesn't need her own cake. But the ratios were all off. So I'm like, I think I can figure it out for next year. But
up,
the Mo part is so tasty that I like to overload it in the cake, and I always pay the price. It oozes out. It looks terrible.
I give up. I give up when it comes to baking. You know me. I don't even attempt.
I got 20 more years. I said if I keep doing this, by the time I turn 80, I'll get it right.
Yeah. So, all right. Anyway, let's get started in here. Podcast 160. Yeah. What are we on? 165, I believe I said.
I don't know.
So the way we do the podcast, for those of you that are new here, is we go through the articles, then we'll take a little pause so you guys can ask any questions that you want or throw any ideas out there that you want us to elaborate on. And then at the end of the podcast, we can do a Q&A like we always do. So that's usually how it works, just because that way otherwise we're just talking over each other and listen, I'm ADHD. I get fumbled anyway.
Yeah, you're fine.
You can only hit me with so much. Yeah. So I don't even know. This was it was a busy week news-wise, but I wouldn't say that, I would say that the top stories, I would say that the top stories weren't really politics this week, I would say. I think it was more so shootings and conspiracy theories and stabbings.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty rough. It's been a rough pre-Christmas week for our country, at least. So,
well, usually things are pretty quiet in government this time of year. They're just trying to wrap up and get the hell out. I think they ended they start their Christmas break today.
Yeah.
So it gets quiet in DC between now and then. I think they even go past New Year's.
Oh, really? Well, hey. Well, I think I just saw that Trump made New Year's and Christmas, even Christmas, a national holiday. I was like, it's not already a national holiday? I thought it was. I just saw that a couple hours ago. I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure it is. Here's the problem. I don't trust all the news anymore that I see. Like, usually it's accurate, but then if it's a big one, I don't know. Too many people we talked about it on the last podcast, too many people just throw out things and then be like, oh, done.
Well, I got a text from my friend saying, oh, they caught the shooter from Brown University.
Yeah.
And I scratched my head. I go, I don't know. I haven't heard because, I'm seeing all the headlines and they were all pretty vague. And normally once they catch somebody, you see their name in every headline and they're analyzing their whole life in their social media. And it still was very vague. And I kept watching them going, I don't think they caught the person yet. And they hadn't, or they hadn't found the person, the body yet. A day later, they did. Today I saw that individual is suing because he's been doxxed. He was identified as the shooter. He's not the shooter. And that was, circulated throughout social media.
Is that yeah, I saw news on this 25-year graduate. Is this the guy? Like, I don't know which one you're talking about because, of course, with every
the Brown University shooter that they found, was it today or yesterday? He had killed himself.
Yes.
After he shot Ella Church and other people at Brown, and then shot the MIT professor. They found his body in a storage locker. But while the manhunt was going on, another person's face was flashed fake news, fake information on social media that they found the killer, and this is the guy.
And it was the wrong picture. I see. I got you.
It was the wrong person. I'm like, that doesn't. I haven't heard this. Officially.
That's like the Key and Peele skit where. Right, it's the president giving a speech and there's people in the room and they go, we accept everyone, the Indians, and he flashes to an Indian guy. He says the American or the white person, blah blah blah, and then it goes the gay guy. And it's just one guy. And he's just like, it's the wrong guy. He's like, no, I'm not. And then they keep. It's a good skit, but yeah.
No, but this is pretty scary. Imagine if your face is now associated as a killer.
Yeah, that happened a while ago to someone.
All over social media. I mean, so based on what you're saying, you really can't trust a lot of stuff. You have to.
Well, the problem.
Everything.
Yeah, the problem is like wrong information is one thing, fake information is one thing, but what bothers me a lot now, and I think we saw this a lot more during COVID, like this was the start of it, where it's who cares if the information is right or wrong? We have a tidbit of info, throw it out there like we found it so that we can get the clicks. And that I feel like is a big problem in media right now. And we're seeing that more and more. So, yeah. But I don't know if we wanted to start with that talk, but the shootings. But
it's adding to that if we want to follow on that theme, that Brown University. The article I put up this week was not about necessarily that. I think when that article came out, they had not yet found the body of the shooter in the storage unit, so they were still looking for it. But when I looked at the media conference they had with the media, it was really a shit show. The Brown investigator, it was just a mess. It's the most surveilled university, yet the cops had very little information, which that in and of itself is causing a lot of questions to be asked, which we talked about last podcast. The Providence police chief, he was corrected 2 times during the discussion with the reporters, the update that they were giving by the attorney general. He was wrong about 2 major things, like, we found him outside. She goes, no, we didn't find him outside, it was inside. The FBI agents, they had a picture of them outside the building kicking the snow looking for clues. I mean, it just looks so unprofessional.
Oh yeah, I saw that video. I was like, wow, this looks, but also don't want to get your hands cold. I get
it. I mean, it's just, come on. And meanwhile, they hadn't interviewed one person.
But let me ask this though real fast. How else would you do it? Hands and knees, shovels?
What were they looking for? Was it just making them like optics to put something out like the FBI was doing something? But meanwhile, they hadn't interviewed one person in that room. They hadn't spoken to any of the victims, and yet they're looking for somebody. Is that not absurd?
Yeah, there's so much to. So we're gonna get into the Candace Owens stuff in a little bit, but there's just so many things. Like as I said, we'll get to the Candace Owens stuff, but the more stuff that she unearths, the more I look at these and go. The more I look at this and go, like, why are we? Like, there's something that she knows that is true. The more I look into the Charlie Kirk stuff, the more even I'm a little more skeptical. So, with stuff like this, where we had, as we talked about in the last podcast, 815 cameras and we couldn't find anything. Now we have FBI agents just digging around in snow. Like certain information is being withheld, and I don't like that. And now we're seeing it more and more in basic things. It used to be big conspiracies like the JFK assassination, like you could even say the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? Those were the big ones. Now, like, everything feels like a conspiracy, and then there's some merit to it, and that's where I go, man, do I feel like it's a conspiracy? Do I not? What's up, Laughing? No, my stream is better. What's your stream? I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you mean by that, but yeah. See this?
Well, I don't. This case, when you look at what I posted, it really doesn't give you a lot of confidence in the Rhode Island police. Same thing with the FBI when they do stuff like this. I mean, it makes you wonder. And the camera issue, and guess what? If you don't address it, you're going to get conspiracy theories.
Yeah, true.
So they choose not to address it. They don't say why they're not addressing it. And I think a whistleblower, somebody, and who knows if the whistleblower's true, came out and said they shut off all the cameras during all the ICE raids.
Maybe.
Because they didn't want the police to see it. Who knows? But okay, that makes sense. Because God knows they have enough funding. Subsequent to that, some student came out ripping into the university that they basically pay for 2 administrators for every 1 student in that school.
Right, which is crazy.
And you pay $90,000 a year to go to that school. So why aren't the cameras working? It
Yeah.
seems like they have money,
Yeah. So real fast, I just want to do the breakdown of. Oh, let me set this up for viewers if they want to see the article topics. But wait, we want
there you go. I
podcast
was looking for that.
There we go. Boop. Yeah, there we go. So there's a couple things that we've learned about this shooter, or the shooter. Yeah, that. Okay, I know we just talked about conspiracy theories, and I know we talked about. Like, not everything's a conspiracy. This is a little weird. So what we do know about this guy that did shoot himself, that they found in the container, he's from Portugal, right? He was a student there 25 years ago and graduated. There was no real motive, right? I don't believe his teacher even works there anymore. But they linked it to another case in Boston. So this same person, they believe, shot and killed another teacher up in Boston who was studying nuclear fission, right? And now, for those of you that know nuclear fission, right, that's what Nikola Tesla worked on and how he figured out unlimited energy. So again, it goes deeper, but this kind of goes to the Candace Owens point of, am I just being a crazy conspiracy theorist, or is there something to it, right? The path that this guy took is a little weird, but you'll have to,
I don't know that they're going to find necessarily the connection. Based on what I've seen from all of the federal and state people, I'm not convinced, because guess what? It was a homeless man that gave them the tip.
Right. A little weird.
Somebody who had gone to the school, which in and of itself is mind-boggling.
25 years later, too. It's not even like 4 years later.
Right. And happened to notice the car this guy was driving, and then he was acting a little bit odd. And the reason why I know this is because so many people had posted about him. He deserves the $50,000. If it wasn't for him, nobody would have known about this guy. He turned the local police, I think the FBI, onto this guy, posted things saying, listen, I've been following him. This guy is acting odd, and gave them the license plate number. It was a Florida plate on a Nissan Sentra. So, I mean, as much as you say, similar to the Charlie Kirk assassination, nobody found that shooter. The parents turned him in. Nobody found this guy.
Allegedly. As I said, the Charlie Kirk stuff is I don't want to segue too much, but I don't know if you ended up watching the podcast between Piers Morgan and Candace. I kind of hope you did,
no,
but
I didn't. I just thought now.
It is between Candace and a bunch of other people. Like, now I'm starting to really believe that there's way more to that story than just some crazy kid on a building taking the shot. I think that the kid did do it, but I think the motives, I think there was more to that. And unfortunately now I think there's overwhelming evidence to prove that. But
there was more to Trump's assassination in Pennsylvania. There was more to the guy who's the gunman in Las Vegas. I mean, now, hello, younger people, because you're young, you're 30 years younger than I am. Welcome to the world. Right. This is what you deal with, and you're going to deal with it decade after decade after decade, and you'll be called every name in the book, but sometimes it just doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Right?
Real fast. Laffy, I just realized what you were talking about because my brain ignores the bots. So now I get you. But yeah, so let's finish this up. But basically, I mean, there's not much of a story here anymore in the sense of they found the guy. He's dead. I mean, obviously a garbage human being. We just don't know what his motives were because we see why that there's a connection between the school and the guy that he shot in Boston, the MIT doctor, but we don't have like a clear connection as to why him and what his association is. So I think more will come out.
We want to know, was Ella Church targeted? People in the room said she was shot 10 times in the head. Okay?
Damn.
That woman, a conservative Christian woman. Couple that with what happened down in Australia, where they attacked Jewish people. And I just saw an article today, not conspiracy theory, because if you watch it in real time, Jews and Christians are being targeted all over the world right now. And it's ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. So much so that France, Germany, and I think Italy have canceled their Christmas markets because of fear of terrorism, which shame on them for doing that. Yeah. Shame on them for caving to the terrorists. Yes, keep the people safe, but that doesn't mean you have to give up your liberty so that they can be free to do what they want to threaten to do. And I think that's the bigger issue here that everybody's asking. It's horrific. This guy's dead, okay? We don't know the connection between him and the MIT professor and why Brown University, but why that girl in particular? Those kind of questions have to be asked. And I think you start with the basics of why don't you ask the people who are in the room?
Yeah.
They don't want to admit whether he said Allahu Akbar or not. They said he's grunted something. It's like they've talked around what he said. Okay, ask the people who are in the room. Maybe they did and they don't want to tell you. That's part of that whole.
I think I think 9 are in the hospital right now, and then 2 dead. I think is the consensus. But so.
But there were about 40 people in that room, if not more.
Now I don't know if you saw, but I do want to give a shout out to that guy who stopped that terrorist attack in Australia, right? The one that father. His GoFundMe raised $2 million. Good for him. All to him.
Yeah.
So I just want to throw that out there. There's some positive news.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know if he's a Muslim. I assume so, but I shouldn't do that. I don't know what his background is. He was very appreciative of the money. Didn't understand why they were giving him this money.
He's a hero.
It was very touching to see that. Yeah, and I think that was great to see that. But just as a comment, as an aside, and they wonder why people in general have a negative feeling towards Islam and Muslim. If a Christian or Catholics were going on killing sprees around the world, everyone would expect the Pope or bishops or somebody come out and make a statement. They would feel they'd have to. I never hear imams come out and condemn the activities. I never hear that. That bothers me. And I guess my message out there to the podcast world is, if you do not agree with mercy killings, with attacks on beaches against
I just want to point out, we're losing all monetization on this one. Because I just realized the first 10 minutes of this is just killings.
Oh, come on. You keep saying that. You're the one who's talking about it. I'm just pointing out. And I think a lot of people will, if they don't agree, just watch it over time. Do you ever hear, I know they don't have a central leader like we happen in our faith. We happen to have a pope. But I never hear them come out and condemn these things. All you ever hear, the media put out the ones who are radicalized and violent. I'm sure they're not all that way. But I would think as a faith, a lot of them would want to say, hey, you know what? We need to stand up here and say, we're not all like these people. And I think they do their religion a disservice by not doing that.
Yeah. But I guess the problem with especially the Muslim faith is there's just so many different types of Muslim, right? You have radical Islam. You have I don't even know what to call them, like regular Islam, you know? Like, what do you...
Chris, we have Catholics, we have Methodists,
Right.
Episcopalians, we have Lutherans, we have Latter-day Saints, we have Pentecostal.
Right.
And
I
from
don't
time
even
to
know how the
time, they
Muslim
all
faith is
come out.
broken down. Like, I don't know how it even... I know you have radical, non-radical. That's really all I know. I'm sure there's variants, but yeah.
Well, we should know that, right? If you believe in your faith, and I have to assume otherwise, they're either feared into saying anything by the radical members of their faith, or they don't feel a need. And I think that's a shame, because their religion is getting a very negative take. And when you're starting to read people, both sides of the aisle, saying things like, we have to get these people out, they're attacking the Western world. Why should you think they would believe anything else, absent somebody stepping up and saying, no, we don't believe that? Back to your point, that's why I appreciated what that man did at that beach. And I don't know his faith, but, it would be nice to hear leaders of that faith who say they don't represent us. These radicals don't represent us.
Watch him be a Catholic. We're just like, what?
I don't know.
Watch him just be a Catholic this whole time.
I don't want to base it on his name. I'm not going to do that. But I don't know. I saw an interview with a woman whose father was shot there at the beach that day. She's a Jewish Australian woman. It was a great interview. She did not hold back, and she was very reserved, very nice lady. But she basically said, we don't trust our government anymore. They're not going to protect us. We're tired of them telling us they will, et cetera, et cetera. But, that's people speaking up. That's what you have to do. Defend, or absent saying something, conspiracy theories are going to arise if you don't fill in the blanks.
Laffy brings up a good point. The Sunni and the Shia, I believe, are two. Well, I think are two. And I guess they're always fighting. I don't, as I said, I don't really pay attention to what goes on over there. I just don't want it here. That's all I know.
Some writer I was just reading recently was talking about, in general in the Middle East, because you have the Sunnis and the Shia, and guess what? None of us care.
Yeah.
We don't care. We just know they're violent. That's it. We just know we always. To some extent, that's true.
But bring them over.
In the Middle East care about the Hatfields and the McCoys, two families who used to feud here in America. No, it's just feud is a feud. What do you?
Wow, it's funny. Yeah. It's funny you brought up the McCoys, because I just started Red Dead Redemption 1 today, and it's about the McCoys and the. What are the odds? It takes place in that time period. But yeah, so. Anyway, let's get right to the Piers Morgan and Candace stuff. I wish you watched this one, because this is pretty interesting. So we talked last week about the Nick Fuentes and Piers Morgan stuff. And let me start off by saying I don't watch either of these two. I don't really watch Candace Owens. I don't watch Nick Fuentes. I don't watch Piers Morgan. But the interview is so big, I was like, let me take a look at it. So I watched this interview between the two of them. And, again, I think this kind of comes back to...
Let me just say one thing. Okay. Kudos to Piers Morgan, because he's getting these young...
Oh, yeah, I knew it. We just got banned on TikTok. I knew that was coming because of all the killing stuff, which is funny. It's fine. I knew that was coming.
Piers Morgan, or credit to Piers Morgan. So he had Nick Fuentes. Now he has Candace Owens. Remember, we were saying he's like the dying media, the old school. But he's getting very hot contemporary people, whether you agree with them or not. He's getting them to come on and interview them. All right, go ahead.
Oh, so I was just saying how with Candace, I don't agree with everything that she says. I don't really understand. Like, the big one for her is the whole Brigitte Macron one, which I'm like, there's a big conspiracy to that. I've looked into it before. I just don't care about it. Like, she could be a man. I couldn't give a shit. I know there's some whole thing about manipulation into power and whatever, but again, I'll let the courts decide that one. I didn't realize that they're actually doing a court case on that. How crazy is that a podcaster is now in a giant lawsuit that the wife of the prime minister has to prove that she's a woman? Where are we in 2025? But so
suing her, I think, for defamation. Taking her to court over it.
Exactly. So the big interesting thing is what she's been saying about Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA, which we have an article about that as well. One thing that I do kind of feel like Candace Owens does, first off, I will say I do think that she makes some huge leaps of like, I have some evidence, and that's enough for me to go on. And I think as a journalist, you kind of do that until a case goes dry or a tailing goes dry. But she keeps pushing and pushing on stuff that are kind of locked behind closed doors. And what I mean by that is she just did a get together with Charlie Kirk's wife. Would have liked that to be public so we can all hear what happened behind the scenes, but it sounds like Candace just brought up all this information. I think this guy had told Turning Point USA was in on the assassination. I don't have solid proof, but I have things that don't line up. And the more I see from other podcasters and things that come out, the more I kind of agree with the whole someone, like there's more to it than just Charlie Kirk was just killed by a random furry. It's just like when she talks, it kind of like Nick Fuentes. They say these things that sound very outlandish, or maybe it's the way they say it, but I just can't really believe what you're saying until you show me some evidence. Like she's one that says this, and this, but doesn't really show that much evidence where I'm like, okay, we have something here. So with Piers Morgan, though, he doesn't help because first off, he just interrupts the whole time, which is tough to listen to begin with. She can never get a thought out. Now, does she ramble a little bit? Yeah, sure. But I don't like the fact that he is very, like, you have no information here. Like, he doesn't change his mind at all. Like, he says he's open, but he's really not to the idea. So it's just him saying you're wrong and all this is wrong. But then they talk about other conspiracies like the JFK assassination. I think it's pretty unanimous at this point that Lee Harvey Oswald wasn't the only killer. Like, I think, like, when the best snipers in the world are saying there's no way that's possible, especially in that time period with those weapons, I'm going to go by the snipers rather than the journalists on that one, right? But for some reason, Pierce is just stuck in his ways of, well, the FBI said, and right then and there, you kind of lost me. If you're going by the FBI, get the hell out of here. But, yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry I'm rambling, but
I didn't watch the interview. I didn't watch the Nick Fuentes one, but I'll take a step back.
Someone said I was on the grassy knoll.
But, just go back before Bridget Macron, okay? For a while there, Candace Owens had a place. You saw her. She was in the conservative, on the platform with the other conservatives. Kind of like the Milo Yiannopoulos, right? Remember him?
Yeah.
And what happened was, and again, I'm taking a step back here. She got married. She had, I think, 1 or 2 children. I think she kept her podcast, but she kind of fell off the radar. I don't think by choice necessarily, but she took kind of a step back and she wasn't as prominent anymore. And I say that knowing, as I told you, I knew her before you guys ever even heard of her.
That's true.
I saw when she first was red pilled and she came out and I threw the name out. Nobody.
I'll even say my mom knew who Candace Owens was like before I even got to college, before she was even like starting.
Right. And she got a lot of attention because she was, they called red pilled. She comes from a very democratic family, very liberal family. Everybody in her family was on government assistance, and she changed. And that was her platform when she came out. She was the golden child. She was the Democrat. Okay. So then she gets married. All of a sudden, I never heard from her. And out of the blue,
we'll get to that, Jack.
She throws out, well, I think Macron's wife is a man.
Which
is not a new idea. This has been going on for this person for quite a long time. Well, I mean, is that red meat? Not really, because, it's not like who shot JFK. It's who cares, to your point. Yeah, it's salacious, blah, blah, blah. But now all of a sudden people are listening to her. And now I think similar to what we're saying about Nick Fuentes, but especially her, all of a sudden she's getting a lot of negative attention, but she's getting the attention again. So I always take a step back. When you look at these influencers, especially ones on both sides, liberals and conservatives, just keep the time frame in mind. We didn't hear both from her. Another one is Milo. All of a sudden now he's coming back into the picture. I'm hearing little drips and drabs. You mark my word. He's going to start saying and doing things very controversial. He's got to accuse people of
Well,
conspiracy.
he hasn't really,
because he'll get the negative attention.
well, you probably didn't see where Milo was like, I think Charlie Kirk was a gay man. It's like, okay, like
Yeah,
he's really kind of like, I think we were expecting this big comeback from him, and
Right.
he kind of just soiled it. Like, tried to do the old school way of how he got to the top in the first place. It just didn't really work. But this is the way I kind of see Candace is like.
But hold on, that's exactly what I feel she has done.
Really?
She picked a topic that's controversial, but really doesn't matter to anybody at the end of the day.
I couldn't care
Especially
about
in America.
Macron.
I really don't care, right?
Well,
I mean, it's
hold
salacious.
on. So there's more. I know sort of what the conspiracy is. It's not really about whether she's a man or a woman. It's more so about who she was before she was a man. So, or before she was a woman, I mean.
If she was a man.
Yeah, if she was a man. Yeah. Please don't sue us.
Yeah, really.
I'm just repeating. But with Macron, there's a whole conspiracy on how she got into power. And that's the problem, because if you can unravel that, then everything else is essentially true. So it's basically like a ball of yarn. You pull the one string, which is, well, she was once a man. Then everything comes undone. That's kind of the thought process, I think, for Candace.
Sure.
Let me go back real fast to Candace's last year, I would say. Well, not even. Last 6 months. Someone said she's trans. We'll get to questions later, guys, just because we're going to do articles. And then in between, we can answer some questions. But Q&A at the end, just so everyone knows. Just to make it easier so we can stay on track. But I'm writing them down. Don't worry. So I think when the Charlie Kirk assassination happened, and then Candace was the first one to kind of, I want to say report on it in a sense, or have her own theories. I feel like what happened was she kind of separated herself from like the Republican side, because she was very questioning of Israel, whereas I think most Republicans kind of sided with Israel. Because of all this, and that kind of, what's the word? Trying to make a big word here. What's the word? Excommunicated her from the Republican Party in a sense. Republican conservative news journalists and stuff. I don't know why I'm struggling with words today. It's been a long day already. And then all of a sudden, now we're starting to see, and we'll get to it in a second, it seems like a lot of people have kind of followed suit behind that in the conservative movement. That Israel has done a little more than they've had to when it comes to the war, when it comes to their involvement, maybe in the Charlie Kirk assassination. There's a lot of things like that even I'm starting to question based on the evidence that I've seen. So I think she was kind of the white horse that went on her own, and then a lot of people followed suit. So that's why she does have what I would say some credibility in the sense of taking the forefront of it. Of this little movement here. But to your point, she brings up the Macron stuff, and then I go, now I've kind of lost interest in you a little bit, because I'm like, man, it's so outlandish. But then I go, well, if it's right, if it's true, we got something on our hands here.
I think you hit the nail on the head, which is what I was saying before. She was just one of many echoing the same, maybe truth, of the conservative movement. And when she dropped out for a while there, when she got married and had her kids, now she needed the celebrity push to get her back. And the only way to do that was not by getting along, because there's many others now. You've got a ton of women now who are Megyn Kelly. You've got Natalie Winters. You've got a lot of women, Tammy Lahren and Laura Loomer to some extent. They've made a name for themselves, negative or otherwise. They're out there. Now Candace has to compete with them, and she can't do it following the same echo chamber. She needs to be wow, and that's why she started with the Macron stuff. Now she seems to be saying things just to go against the grain, because she's one different voice.
Yeah, and it's such, as you say, maybe because we're American, we just don't care. But I would love to ask someone over there who, like, do they actually give a shit? You know? So maybe to them this is the biggest news ever in France, but or maybe people agree with her. I don't know.
The French, I guess we'll go down this road. They got bigger issues than Macron.
I don't like the way you did that. I don't like the way you did that. Where you're like, should we bring this up?
Well, I mean, I want to go down the whole road about the immigrants and whatnot, because she just got, all over TikTok. But they have a lot of problems over there. At least their concerns is that. Hey, you know what? Maybe take on Elon Omar.
Yeah.
Something that does matter to us and does affect me in my state of New Jersey, because this person has a vote and affects legislation. And there's some serious questions about, is this person even a citizen, let alone being a representative in the House of Representatives? Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. But those kind of stories, similar to the Macron rumors, that matters to us citizens more than what's going on in France.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of for them to deal with. That's why I say, I mean, now she's getting sued. Hopefully she can back up what she's saying, or she's going to wind up settling or some mess. But, it's easy to throw out conspiracy theories, right? It's easy to say it.
No, I think the problem here's one thing I do kind of respect about Candace, but I think it's going to be kind of dumb if she does it. If she loses that court case, I don't think she'll accept the answer. I think she'll be like, I think she'll say there's more to this and keep going, right? I think she'll keep going down that rabbit hole, and I think that's going to cause a lot of problems for her, to the point where it's kind of like an AJ situation where you just get blacklisted and no one can find you anymore, because that's kind of what they did to AJ after the whole Sandy Hook stuff. So,
you don't remember this, but Donald Trump was a big birther guy. Okay, he went on quite a bit about Obama is not a citizen. We need to see his birth certificate. That was before he was running in 2016.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Big Mike. I thought you were gonna. No,
Barack Obama.
Yeah.
You need to see his birth certificate. Even when it was supplied, he still wasn't believing it. But then he was running for office and he let it go.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of people will hang on to these conspiracy things. People call them nut jobs who believe that JFK was not killed by Lee Harvey Oswald, right? For years, people were called crazy for that. You're crazy for thinking that.
Now
and here we are.
Yeah. So that's why, like Piers Morgan, it's tough to listen to him, and kind of what we were talking about with the Nick Fuentes stuff, where between him, Whoopi Goldberg, and The View, whatever, they're just very behind the times, where it's like, I believe everything that the government tells me. When, I mean, go ahead and ask any military sniper of 20 plus years experience. They're like, no, I couldn't take that shot with a modern day rifle, let alone with a terrible one from that far away in that time period. Yeah. So I think even though the FBI doesn't say it, and the fact that a lot of things are still redacted, even after they released it, I think I will agree with Candace on that one. Like, Pierce, you got to open your eyes a little bit more. But yeah, so.
Well, I think there's a difference between interviewing somebody and what you see on regular talk shows where you're debating somebody. I think you have to clarify that. Are you debating this person, or are you interviewing her? Are you trying to find out what she has to support her theories? And a lot of these, I mean, that's what it's becoming nowadays. People don't want to just see interviews anymore. They want to see people like debating and duking it out. Problem is, I don't care what Piers Morgan thinks about something. I want to see somebody who makes a difference. Like, if I'm going to watch a debate, I want to see two people debate something that matters to American people.
Right.
This ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
Macron in France does not matter to me. Charlie Kirk, we'll never know the extent of it. Sadly, we should know. We should have an FBI that we trust and whatnot, but we'll never know the extent of it. We'll never know all the people involved. Same thing with the Las Vegas shooter and with Donald Trump. We'll never know how many people support it, and that's a shame. Yeah. It's really a shame.
I like how Laffy said, I don't know why anyone is suddenly taking Pierce seriously. Like 10 years ago, he was like British Don Lemon and everyone knew it.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Don Lemon, that's another guy that's just so out of touch and just crazy. I can't, everything that guy says, I'm just like, what are you talking about, dude? So, yeah. Any questions on that one before we move on? Hey, Larissa. What's your conspiracy? Yeah, we'll get to those. In Russia, the teenagers soon. Well, if anyone has anything before we start the next one, because I do want to get right into the Turning Point USA stuff.
Oh, you got a lot of political stuff. For the record, I hope people have noticed I haven't been coming with the political stuff. It's been Chris.
I just went with the biggest stuff of the week. So
I don't mind
the Turning Point stuff. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Okay, we'll continue on that. So, I like how NBC titled it as the MAGA infighting. Did you watch any of the Turning Point stuff or no?
The Turning Point, no. AmFest is going on now. down in, I don't know, Arizona or somewhere. I've been seeing blips on that one. No, I didn't watch this. I'll
It's
be
just,
honest.
I kind of almost feel bad for Ben Shapiro because he just got laid out by everyone. It was kind of, let me tell you what it kind of felt like. It felt like everyone was kind of fighting to take Charlie Kirk's shoes, which I didn't like.
Right.
We're still doing this thing that makes me a little uncomfortable where Erica Kirk is coming out to fireworks, smiles, and Tim Dillon said it best. I was watching his podcast today. He said, "I've seen people. Her husband got killed 3 months ago. I've seen people grieve longer from dead dogs and cats." And I was like, "That is true, right?"
Okay. Hello. Go back to our podcast, the one right after Charlie died. What did I say? Something bothers me about how quickly she has come
Turned
out with
around,
the
yeah.
makeup and the suits. And you said, well, she needed to do it. She
I
had to
thought she
address
was going to take some time. To your point, I was wrong. I had hoped she would take, I don't know, 6 months before even showing up again. She's doing tours like every week.
What was it? 1 week? 2
I think
weeks
like
later?
3 days.
I think now would be appropriate to start. Maybe she could have done things behind the scene, but she's really stepped into that role. If that's what she wants to do, fine. But it definitely sets a different tone for me with my expectations of her.
I agree. And also the amount of money begging that these organizations that help her have been doing. So it seems like everything she does, it's like don't forget to donate. Don't forget to do this. Don't forget to do that. And that does make me a little uncomfortable too, because I feel like you're just like kind of taking a dead guy and trying to make money off of it. And the whole thing was basically the whole gist of it was, how are we going to get J.D. Vance to be the next president? That's basically the whole thing. But all these people, including Bannon, I shouldn't say Bannon trying to be the next Charlie Kirk, but he laid into Ben Shapiro. It seems like no one likes him anymore for some reason. And I think it's just because of how much how hard he's trying to be the next. Like, I don't really understand, and maybe Bannon's talked about it, why they don't like Shapiro that much anymore. Like, no conservative really likes him for some reason. And it's just, like Bannon just talked about how he tried to take over Breitbart, how he tried to take over Turning Point USA. Like, it's just a lot of, hey, like, get out of the way. You're doing too much. You're not the person who's going to take his shoes or sit in his shoes, sit in his throne, whatever you want to say. So I think this article title is not completely wrong, in the sense of we are seeing some weird infighting, and I don't know if it's over the Israel stuff, if it's over Palestine stuff, but it seems like, going back to the Candace Owens stuff, more and more conservative news people, especially the big influencers in the news media, news outlet, are starting to agree with the whole Palestine stuff and the whole Israel did something here with this assassination or had a hand in it. And that's kind of what it felt like. So, just very strange.
I'm not going to comment on it because I haven't heard what their evidence is. And I also don't know what their issue is. I mean, Josh Shapiro's always kind of gone, or Ben Shapiro's always gone like his own way. Even though he's a strong conservative, he's a very good debater. I've heard him debate.
Mm-hmm.
He
very
comes
smart.
prepared. Yes, he is very. I will put him up there in terms of being able to debate on the same level that Charlie Kirk did in dealing with people, and using somewhat. I think Charlie Kirk will lean more on his faith than Ben Shapiro does. But having said that, I did see a headline from Tucker Carlson saying, "Don't believe what you're hearing about a civil war in the Republican Party." I really don't believe that. I'll be honest. If you notice, there's a lot of stuff going on in the Democratic Party. You never see headlines in the news about, the infighting in the Democratic Party. They just love to tear into the conservative side.
They won't even talk about Bill Clinton's pictures coming up in the Epstein files. Did you see those pictures? How's that not on the news? But go ahead, continue.
You know why? Because it's old news, Chris. Yeah. We knew this 10, 20 years ago, and nothing happened.
I was cheating on my wife.
Right. Nobody's shocked by this. Literally no one.
Yeah.
And yet they sit there trying to push, here's Bill Clinton in the pool, but there's a letter Trump wrote. Are you kidding me? This is the absurdity.
Well, I didn't want to derail the conversation, but I was just bringing that up in the sense of the infighting.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm sure people are at a point right now where they're arguing. I'm sure when Candace Owens is throwing out what may be truths, but they're radical truths.
Or they're locked behind a door that we just have to take her word for. And that's where she kind of loses me a little bit. So, yeah.
Right. And she sounds like she's putting a lot on the Israeli conspiracy side of it. And just keep in mind, I mean, Ben Shapiro is a devout Jew. He doesn't hide it. He doesn't apologize for
the one thing. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. It's okay.
I was just gonna say the big difference between, in my opinion, Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro from a debating standpoint is Charlie Kirk kind of took religion, took everything, threw it into one, and those kind of created his opinions. I think Ben Shapiro's the difference, I'm not saying it's a blessing or a curse, is that Ben does a very good job at separating his religion from politics. So he'll have a political answer and then he'll have a religious answer. And I do respect that, but I think that can kind of screw you a little bit in the sense of trying to fill Charlie Kirk's shoes. So, I don't know. I think also Ben Shapiro is very robotic, which it kind of comes off a little...
I mean, it's a very different style.
Yeah, it comes off a little ingenuous, I would say. Or like... Almost like he doesn't quite...
Disingenuous.
Oh, what did I say? I don't even know. Did I just come up with a word?
Ingenuous, but
ingenuous. Yeah. Same thing. You guys knew what I meant. Listen, I'm not Ben Shapiro. I'm not Charlie Kirk. So.
But I have never heard, and I've not watched him a lot, I have never heard Ben Shapiro offensively criticize somebody. If they say something to him, he goes on the defense with his facts. Similar to Charlie Kirk, I've never heard, like, some of the stuff I hear, well, everybody who saw this week, big news, not big news, small news, but a nurse was berating a Target lady, an elderly woman who works at a Target store because she had a Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt on, okay? But the things she was saying, and the woman saying to her, that's not true. He never said those things. Like, they were actually debating. And the woman saying things like, he said he hates Jews, or he wants Muslims. She was just saying the same rabidly incorrect stuff that they keep pushing out there, right? Keep pushing out there. And all the woman was saying was, no, he never said that. So similarly, when Shapiro does stuff, if you come after him, he's going to go back at you. Charlie Kirk, not so much that, but always defended it, and as I said, leaned into his faith. I think Shapiro did too, but only recently have the attacks been specifically like anti-Palestine and Jew, really hit home with Shapiro. But don't kid yourself. I mean, that anti-Semitism, we've talked about this before, that's never gone away. It's just escalating since literally October 7th of the year that the attack was. So people like Ben Shapiro have probably a little bit more to talk about these days that people don't want to hear in terms of taking a side. And now you got Candace Owens coming in and adding a Israeli element to it that, that could cause tension within the conservative movement.
Yeah. I just thought that at least one of them would maybe side with Ben Shapiro, but between Megyn Kelly, Steve Bannon, like everyone just kind of went in on him. And I was like, damn, what do you do to deserve this?
Yeah, I have to do some more research because I have not been paying attention to it all with the holidays and whatnot because there are days I just throw my hands up and I'm like, ugh, enough. I can't, you can immerse yourself in this stuff and then you turn into a wackadoodle.
I just do feel like, right, we were kind of, I think the hypocrisy in us is we kind of did this same thing when we were watching AOC and Gavin Newsom try and fight for the power of running for president next or who's going to be the Democratic leader. And I do like watching that Turning Point USA conference. It felt like that same thing where it's who's going to fill the shoes of Charlie Kirk, who's going to be the big news organization, who's going to take it over. That's kind of what it felt like. And it wasn't a pretty sight to see. So I'm putting in my application. I'll do it.
Listen, I'm still waiting for somebody to fill the shoes of Rush Limbaugh. It's never happened. And you know what? It never will. Oh. Some people are...
You're starting to sound like Pierce Morgan.
No, it's true. I mean, for somebody used to listen to him only because he had a particular universal style, regardless of what the issues were out there. He always had a way of addressing it. And he was extremely respectful of both sides. He took liberals and conservatives. People came on and said things he disagreed with. That's very rare. And I'll give Charlie Kirk credit. I'll say something controversial, but I think Charlie was elevated even more in his death.
Oh, yeah. I think everyone agrees with that. I think when people really... Because you only hear online the negatives of, in the sense of the people that were like, he was this bad person, no one liked his ideas. Tim Pool actually said it best. And when he said this, it kind of blew my mind because I was like, oh wow, that makes a lot of sense. But like, you know that feeling of when like a murderer gets shot and killed who murdered 50 people, you're like, thank God someone got him. That's how liberals felt when, like, take that feeling, and that's how liberals felt when Charlie Kirk died. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it. Because to me, I'm like, man, is that really, like, first off, crazy people, don't get me wrong. But when he said that, I was like, oh, I mean, if you put it in that perspective, you kind of understand what they were feeling, even though it's the wrong way to feel. But I forget where I was kind of going with that. But what I was saying is, oh, go ahead.
That's not really what I'm saying. I'm saying Charlie Kirk was a very good debater. I liked how he spoke. He had a future. You know, he was definitely somebody who would progress and make a name for himself. But he was one of many.
Yeah.
And it was in his assassination. That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Not his ideas, not his style, but the fact that he was assassinated for what he believed elevated him to a higher level than what I feel he was at in his lifetime.
The way I should have put that is that I was saying is I think he was elevated in the way that when he died, a lot of people really started looking into him because so many people were happy with his death and they were saying he was this bad person. Here's a clip of him saying, but then people really started watching his clips and going, oh, this wasn't a bad dude. This was just, I mean, everyone on the left is wrong. There's not a single thing you could say about him that was negative. So when you see that, and then in death, he was essentially, now he's this, I mean, I was looking at his Instagram the other day just because it came up. He has 16 million followers. I don't know what he was at before he died, but like, it's a crazy ride. So it just goes to show that unfortunately, or fortunately, in death, to your point, he elevated. And I think that kind of helped him in a sense, or helped the movement, I should say.
It helped the movement. I mean, unfortunately, he was a martyr for the cause. He didn't die going to the food store, picking up groceries for the family.
Right.
And got killed.
Well, I also think that
go ahead.
Yeah.
He was debating. He was doing what he's known for, and was killed doing that, which is even more poignant in terms of his situation. But go ahead.
What's so baffling to me, and even I forget this sometimes because of how big it was, but they compare it to like Malcolm X. They compare it to Martin Luther, JFK, whatever. Charlie Kirk wasn't even a politician. He was just a podcaster, right? He had some political power and he was talking about politics, but when you really break it down, you're like, oh wait, this was literally just a normal citizen, a guy that was just preaching his beliefs. Then that even brings it another way, because that's attacking on freedom of speech.
But he was very active in getting young people to vote for the current president, and that's a lot of power when you can do that. And he was definitely somebody who was pegged to be a future world leader, maybe as a president, vice president, something. So he was plugged in politically with everybody running for office.
Politician by proxy. That's what I like to call it.
Which, you know, eventually I think that was where he was going. But and that's back to my point, that this whole genre, like Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, this is their job, right? And they have to get views and they have to get attention. And it's still an entertainment, or it's still entertainment business, even though their business is in facts or non-facts.
And right there is kind of the problem right now with media, and what we were talking about in the beginning of the podcast and what feels like every podcast. They're quickly becoming entertainment. I don't care what side you're on. It's becoming entertainment first, facts second. So that's why I kind of look at Candace with like a lens and I go, how much of this is entertainment and how much of this is fact? And how much are you trying to merge to get some story that we're all supposed to follow and just believe? So that's why watching that, and kind of what I'm trying to encompass here is watching that Turning Point USA conference. It was who's going to take they're all fighting to take Charlie Kirk's shoes, right? And that made me go, oh man, this is not good, because we don't care about the news anymore. We just want whatever Charlie had in a sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah.
And when you have fireworks going and music and blah, 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 you're like, oh, this is just Hollywood. We've gone Hollywood.
Well, and just as an aside, so you mentioned AOC before. She just recently made a comment, or maybe it wasn't recent, how Elon Musk is one of the stupidest billionaires or stupidest people in the world. All right? This is someone in the House of Representatives it's just really literally throwing shit out there, hoping it sticks with her, how many 100 million viewers she has. Okay. He responded in kind. And obviously, he made a point of, I'm stupid. I've created AI. I've built starships.
Like you have to be so. You have to be so dumb as a person, no matter where you are politically, to look at the wealthiest man in the world, who has built an entire space program, who has built Tesla, who has built some of the best, like PayPal, all this stuff, and go, that guy's an idiot. How dumb do you have to be?
Understand. That's what we're saying here. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. She got attention.
Yeah, it's true.
That's how it works. She got Elon Musk to respond to her. So this to me is the biggest concern of all when it comes to things like the social media. Candace Owens, whether she has facts or not, she's not a journalist. Right? She's what do you consider her, an influencer? Political influencer? I don't even know. Ben Shapiro says he's a journalist. He does write some things. Okay. When he debates, is he a journalist? I don't know. AOC, okay, she's a politician. She just throws crap out there. Somebody tell me anything she's known for at this point. Besides the Green New Deal.
Right.
But yet this person is making an entire career of herself on social media. And even some older gentlemen on the conservative side have said she's nothing but social media. But that's all that generation cares about. They just like the sensationalism of it. And Piers Morgan has learned, let me get some of these clowns on. I'll get viewers.
Yeah. That's kind of what it feels like. Question, not to derail this, but I've never asked you. How do you feel about Barry Weiss? I've only heard that name thrown around. I couldn't even picture who her face is. What are the thoughts on her?
She kind of did a turn a few years ago. She used to be, I think, with the New York Times on their board, or a writer for them. I'm trying to remember her story. She's young compared to me, obviously, but she wound up doing like a spin a little bit in terms of her political thinking and got a little bit more on the conservative side, or more like around the COVID time and whatnot. All of a sudden she was like, hey, wait a minute, something's not right here. Then she had a very interesting platform where she would debate things like COVID information or vaccine stuff or anything controversial. And from that, I mean, she got fired. She started this on her own. And now I think she's running CBS.
That's why I was like, I think, CBS or CNN. I don't remember.
No, I think it's CBS.
Okay. I was just wondering, like, I don't know much about her, but I see conservatives rip into her all the time, but I see liberals rip into her all the time. I think I saw a video where she had the FBI director on. I'm sorry, the head of the Mossad director, Israeli intelligence. And I think they just couldn't. It was very strange because I think no one really took it seriously. Like, of course, this guy's not going to tell you the truth. But, yeah. So, this is the podcast, Crowley. We just do a live podcast once a month. I
have read some of her stuff. It's very interesting, her take on things. I did not read her stuff because I'm not a big New York Times person. I stopped reading the New York Times back at George W. Bush because they were just annoying me too much. And now they've gotten so bad that everybody.
My mom's been trying to cancel her Times subscription for like the last 10 years. Do you remember when you were having problems? I still remember that. Like, I think it was towards the tail end of high school. You're like, I can't get rid of these people.
The Times, and then later on it was the Wall Street Journal because Peggy Noonan just drove me crazy. And I was like, I'm not buying this crap anymore. She's attacking me every day. Why am I doing anyhow? But yeah, no, Barry Weiss was, she's it should be interesting. She chose somebody to be the head. It's always a big deal to pick the CBS News, nightly news spokesperson, like the Walter Cronkite type of position. And she just picked some guy. They just mocked her for that. Oh, he's so boring. He's a white male, as though that's a crime, right? Yeah. And, it's not good. It's going to be so bad. Okay, we'll see. It's just, you can't do anything right after a while. So.
Yeah. All right, let's just see real fast. If lefties feel that way about someone who committed the sin of expressing mild disagreement with them, it really says more about them than about Charlie Kirk. Agreed. I think we've all come into that agreement, but the way some people think, and again, I'm sure it has to do with upbringing. The way some people think, I'll never understand, but you go, okay. I mean, I'm fine with having a conversation with you, but it's like, what's up, Lyrical Justice? What else did anyone say? Anything? No. To be fair. Oh, that's a good one, because we were talking about the Bill Clinton stuff. You said, to be fair, his wife is Hillary, so it's true. Fucking Hillary. Man. We do not talk about the Clintons on here, guys.
Okay, so let's just take 1 second with the Clintons, all right?
Uh-oh.
You mentioned Bannon before. Bannon went to jail, right? He was subpoenaed. He didn't show up. It was a misdemeanor, what he was eventually convicted of. And he went to a federal, I think, maximum security prison. Mm-hmm. They can't get the Clintons to come in with a subpoena to testify regarding Epstein. What does that tell you? They keep pushing it off. They don't want to do it, blah, 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 blah. Okay, don't tell me there isn't a two-tier justice system, but it's as much as you're going to push it. So I give the Democrats credit in the sense that when they want to get something done, they do it. Doesn't matter how many laws they got to break. They don't care what it takes. They don't care how bad they look. They're going to get you in, and they'll get you in jail if they really want to do that, with the exception of Trump. And, it's mind-boggling to me when it comes to the Clintons. Similar to what we were saying. There's pictures of him all over that island with young people, women.
He's literally in a pool just naked. You're like, okay. Right. Okay, Bill.
And the headline is, Trump wrote a letter. They got a picture of Clinton in a hot tub, and then like Trump wrote a letter to Epstein. Are you kidding me? Anyhow.
All right, I think we finished. I think we finished the main news. So before we go into I'm going to start calling the fun news the pork, just because I like calling it the pork news.
Pork.
Like in a bill, the stuff the fillers. Any questions? Anything you guys want to talk about before we move about the stuff that we talked about before we go to the fun questions, and then we can do Q&As. Or fun articles, then we can do Q&As. Give it a few.
I'll just throw out there, because I don't know if you want to go through it, but the tariffs have hit $200 billion.
I know. It's big.
That's a lot of tchotchke money.
Well, I think didn't he cut out like 21 trillion? When does the Saudi Arabia deal go through? That 1 trillion that was given to him?
I don't know. Isn't that over a year? Like investing over the course of a year?
That's what I was wondering.
Coming in.
I wasn't sure if that was a big chunk.
To rule on those tariffs if they're illegal.
Yeah.
So he's done $200 billion so far. You go ahead, Supreme Court. You tell the American people that. Sorry, and these companies want the money back. Can you believe it? They might rule against him on it, but that just.
Well, what's her name's gonna? Amy Coney Barrett. She's kind of the wild card in that one, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not gonna be fun. All right. Let's move on to the fun news, because let's see if we have any questions. We can get right into the Trump tariffs. Huge. New Trump tariff collection hits $200 billion.
I just covered that. I just said it.
You got any more for it, or?
No, I just want to put that out. This is going to decide. If they decide that he did not, as the executive branch, he did not have the right to set up these tariffs without Congress's input, then companies have already started lawsuits to get the money back. However, interestingly enough, he had tariffs in his first term. Right. So this $200 billion is outside of those tariffs that we generate, right?
I saw that. I know he claims it, but what I don't understand, Mother, is so right now he is on track or has already wiped, in theory and investments, $21 trillion. So I believe that's from all the countries put together through investments, through whatever. He's wiped 21 trillion of our debt. How does that work? Or is that number even true?
No, I don't think that's really
okay. I was
true.
going to say, because I was like, how do you just come up with 21 trillion in investments? I understand that 200 billion is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but it's not 21 trillion.
Yeah. And we're paying the number that's always, they love to shock you with is our debt. So we're paying 2 trillion in debt every year, just to service what we owe, like the interest payments, if you will. That's the number that, is really bad because it's based on a huge debt that we owe, the 2 trillion. So in that sense, anything, the tariffs are appealing because it's a nice piece of money, right? I mean, if he keeps going with this 200 billion each year, it could be $1 trillion after what, 5 years, if he doesn't even do more. But if they back that out, another loss. I'd like to see it net out when we start tackling things like the fraud in Minnesota, the fraud in Maine. I mean, when you're talking $1 billion here, $1 billion there.
Yeah, but I just don't see it getting to like I can't see 2 trillion of money being, I don't think we'll get to that. So even if it's
you're at double digits now, it's up to like $12 billion in Minnesota.
Yeah, but that's 12% of $1 trillion, right?
No, I know, but that's just one place. I guarantee you every state has this going on. I guarantee you every state has it going on. And even if it's $1 billion here, $1 billion there, it adds up in addition to other stuff.
You know what I feel like got kind of swept under the rug, and I don't know why? He wanted to use crypto. Remember, he wanted to do a crypto thing to kind of wipe some of the debt or most of the debt. Did we just kind of give up on that plan? Because I know crypto's kind of going down right now. I don't think it's...
I got another one for you. Do you remember probably about during the Doge thing when Elon Musk's group found some government agency that had wiped 1 terabyte of data? It was referred to the FBI and CIA. Documents. And literally somebody said, whatever happened to that? Great question. I just saw that literally this past week. Great question. Whatever happened to that? Never heard boo about it, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. A terabyte is a huge amount of information.
A terabyte of documents is like 1 million. It's literally, I think, 1 million documents.
Can you imagine how much money was hidden in that? Because it was all money stuff, right? It was all money that went out the door. 1 terabyte of information and money. That could be, I don't know, 10 trillion right there for all we know.
Could be.
That's the kind of stuff, it's just, you shake your head a little bit about the size of money we're talking about. It doesn't seem like a lot, but a little bit here, a little bit there. And this guy's just trying to get a few billion out of tariffs.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like kind of, it's the best method right now until we can start really,
Or we could all start working for Taylor Swift.
You want to go right to that one? Yes, and I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan, but I will give her props for this. This is pretty impressive. Taylor Swift's Eras tour, which for some reason I thought it ended a while ago. Like I feel like the Eras tour just goes on and on and on. Generated $2 billion. Good for her. And she rewarded her staff with 197 million bonuses. Dancers, 750,000 each, and truck drivers. Truck drivers are the ones they always forget about, right? When you have a tour, whatever, the bus driver, they do so much. While you're sleeping on the back of the bus, someone's driving you, and that guy's pulling an all-nighter and doing Monster Energy drinks. So good for her. I'll give her this.
And the costumes and the crew, and they're going international. It's not just, locally.
It's a full-time job.
The thing that bothered me about this is a couple things. How would you like to be like Katy Perry or somebody who maybe are giving bonuses, but they're never given this amount, right?
Oh, yeah, zero.
In your face, or even the old school Aguilera, Beyonce, who maybe never gave, probably could do this. And the other thing that bothered me about it too is, why is she there?
Yeah, that's what I felt too. I was like, she goes, here's a card. Let me give this to you to read to everyone while I'm in the room. But I'm like, listen, if you're giving away that much money, do what you want. They deserve it. So I'll give her props for that.
She made $2 billion, it generated $2 billion. What do you got to give him, a $50,000 tip?
Yeah, it would be kind of, I don't know. I think I don't want to look at the downside of it because it's such a great thing that I don't want to be pessimistic about it because it's great. I mean, it's life-changing money for a lot of those people. So
absolutely.
So that's why props to Taylor. I'll give her that. So
I sent an email. I sent a text message to you guys, my sons, with this story, and I said, "Forget the boxing gym. Start the dance lessons."
Did you? I didn't see that text.
Oh, you didn't see it?
No.
Yeah. I sent this to the 3 of you.
I thought you were asking me for a podcast bonus this year for Christmas. I was like, "Ma, you ain't getting shit."
I see Mike doing this in the background behind Taylor Swift, right?
Mike doing Mike twerking in the background on stage with everyone.
God.
Yeah.
Kenny driving the truck.
Yeah, jeez, that'd be bad. But yeah,
the Taylor Swift songs.
Yeah, Kenny would learn for that much money. Kenny would learn every Taylor Swift song. All right, let's get into some sad news. This is the Rob and Michael Reiner's children, Jake and Rami. I don't know why I started reading that, but basically essentially the killing of the guy's parents. So this happened, what, on Monday, it feels like? I don't even know. But for those of you that don't know, Rob Reiner was a movie director. I think, is he best known for, what's the movie with Tom Cruise? Hold on. Well, he's got a lot of movies, but yeah.
He's a prolific movie producer. He was Meathead in All in the Family.
Yeah.
He started as an actor. But, he's had classics of shows that he's done. Prolific. Very talented. And he's worked with all the great actors. Been in some shows also. Still acting, producing, and whatnot.
But this was kind of depressing because now, well, we'll get into it in a second. But to give you the details, I believe it's either the middle child or I think he's the middle child. He's always struggled with some issues. It sounds like there was a Conan O'Brien Christmas party that a lot of people got invited to, and he got into a huge argument with his father and his mother, specifically his father, I believe. Then I believe a couple days later, like 1 or 2 days later, killed his parents. Pretty gruesomely too, right? Full throat slit. Like, that's why, like, you know how off your rocker you gotta be to do that, let alone to your parents. And then the sister, I believe right there on the left, is the one that actually had to call. And I was like, man, imagine being your sister telling the police that your brother just killed your parents. I was like, ugh. But I think to get into the politics of it, Trump did not have the best reaction, I would say. I'm sure you saw the tweet that he posted.
Yeah.
What is the consensus on that one in the sense of, I'm sure a lot of things go on behind the scenes between Trump and Reiner that have been said. Maybe there's some bad blood there, but to public knowledge, it just seemed like a very off-the-cuff tweet that probably should have gone through a bunch of people before it was tweeted.
Well, hold on. Nothing went on between them. Rob Reiner was extremely vocal, and you could see some really vicious and violent things that he posted over Trump's time. I mean, the man definitely had Trump derangement syndrome. He was like one of the leaders of it. As talented and as gifted as he was, this man is consumed by Trump derangement syndrome. And a lot of conservatives have posted and responded to what Trump said. Many didn't agree, but posted the stuff that Reiner said. Before you judge Trump and what he said, understand what this man has posted over the years. And it is pretty bad, some of the stuff that he would say.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I was like, man, that's kind of tough.
Right. Now, I will say Trump, the man, had every right to respond the way he did. Trump, the president, could have left it just with, he died. It's sad for the family. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
As the president, for somebody that prolific who has been around, that's all needed to be said.
How weird would it be, though, if the president had like two accounts, one the presidential account and one a personal account, and the one personal account was like, fuck this guy, fuck that, and then the presidential account is the one that you just said. You're just like, which one do I go by here? So, but it's pretty depressing.
To be said for the presidential statement. You make a statement as the president, right? Then you can make, and we know Trump can make his comments when he does his discussions and his debates and his, when he goes on the road and does his tour and whatnot. But I bristled at first when I saw it. And I do still think, he should have just kept it short, to the point. Didn't have to praise the guy other than to say, he was an American institution. And that's what it is. He's the Hollywood. He's a dynasty. Okay. But I did read some things, and it really opened my eyes to the things that people like Reiner says. And he has said some vicious things. Charlie Kirk, vicious things. Things that by right people should have said, hey, buddy, you have no right saying that. That's just uncalled for. It's violent. It's this, it's that. And his comment was, you know what? We're tired of taking it. I'm tired of these individuals ripping into my way of thinking, who I am, just because he has this platform. And then they die, and God forbid we say something bad, right?
Yeah.
Oh, don't say anything bad. He didn't really watch his tongue when Charlie Kirk died. He laid it all out there, how much he hated the guy and how he was, antichrist, whatever his comments were, but they were nasty. And he's not the president. There's a difference. That's the only distinction I would make. Sometimes you speak universally as the president. For somebody who, has had a career that was long before Trump came into office, it was in politics. Obviously, this was a troubled family. Okay?
Yeah.
As talented
well,
as
hold on.
Is was,
it? Well, yeah. Okay. Troubled family. I think the son had a lot of issues, but I like a lot of mental issues. I think he's schizophrenic. He was homeless for a while. He lived in the guest house of the family's house for a long time. I do think that, man, it's tough because I'm not a parent and I can't imagine what it would be like, but you do everything for your kid, obviously, and then this happens. You're like, man, how did I fail? I don't know. That's kind of like where my brain goes. I didn't even think of the political side of it. I'm just like, man, I want to know what that argument was about. I think I saw that they want to get him help. And
my
he was like, I'm not
understanding
doing
was he came to the party. First, he was going around to all the guests. They're making comments. Bill Hader from SNL.
Yeah.
I think he was one of the last ones he spoke to. And I believe the parents, remember, it's Hollywood. Everybody's kids have issues, right? They're all wackadoodles walking around this party. I think the parents addressed it saying, you know what, you're being a little inappropriate and you got to go. Probably everybody in the room knew Nick Reiner's problems, right?
Yeah,
it's like
sure
the neighborhood. They all party together and they know each other. I don't know that anybody believed he was going to go home and slit his parents' throats.
Which is
right?
still nuts.
Yes. So to do that, and we know you could have mental health issues. Something obviously triggered it. But I read about a person that interviewed him and his son because they did a project together, I think in 2022.
I do want to point out real fast, the pictures that I've been seeing of the son are like when he was not the like skinny, glasses, good pictures. When you see him now, it's like a completely different person, and you're like, whoa, that looks like a bad guy. So it's surprising. I would hate to be the siblings. I can't even think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a horrific thing. They're not the only family that have it happen to, but they're really. I know it sounds callous, but I'm tired of them analyzing the situation. I'm seeing everyday articles about it. It's a horrific thing that happened. It's a terrible thing that happened to this family.
Yeah, there's not much of a story.
Well, it's a story that sadly we've heard over and over again, right? And at first I thought he was just a drug addict, but as we know, drugs are just a symptom. They're not a cause. It's like alcohol. It's just a symptom.
Well, sometimes drugs awaken things like schizophrenia and a lot of genetic markers. So you always have to be careful with those. So if you're doing heroin and cocaine,
it's just ironic how the father and maybe the mother, I don't know. If you have a kid that's on drugs for whatever reason, let alone mental health issues, right? Thankfully, I just can't imagine that. That is my worst, as a parent, that's your worst nightmare for your kid because the drug destroys the family. You can't control it. They can't, you can't. They try getting rehab, everything else. All I know is that becomes the most important thing in the family dynamic, the drug. And the last president I would be criticizing is the only one in the last, 30 years who's addressed the fentanyl crisis and the drug crisis in this country. Even if I don't agree with anything else the man or the woman says, I'd be the first person to say, Mother God, I know I wouldn't want any other parent to go through what we're going through. It's nothing to do with money, other than the fact that they can afford the drugs more so than others who have to steal to get the drug. But to have that common thread and say, you know what, I can't stand everything this guy stands for, but if we could get the drugs out of the country so this doesn't happen to somebody else. And as far as I know from, as long as I've known presidents, this president is the only one who has actively addressed it. And they're coming down hard on him. Even this father.
All I know is that if my munchkin kitten is not under the tree, we might be having a Reiner situation at
Don't even joke about it.
I'll just say, just watch your back.
Right. Right.
All right.
This was just saying when I read the interview, a little bit odd. All the father did was talk about how wonderful the son is. Isn't he great? Patting him on the back, like trying too hard. And the interviewer was saying it was very uncomfortable for the son. You could see that the son was bothered by it.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's been going
When
on in
your
this family.
dad, when your dad's such a big director in Hollywood, it's not like he's gonna know how to deal with this shit. Like, it's not like, I don't expect him to be a good parent. Just like how, even though I'm an Elon fan, I know he can't take care of 13 kids.
Right, and the guy was in rehab how many times? It's pernicious. I'm not blaming the parents. Unfortunately, it's even worse. Well, maybe not worse, but these kids have access to money. Their parents are gone, or the father might have been gone. You tend to get that theme from a lot of these kids whose parents, whether it's true or not, they would say, my father was never around, or my mother was never around.
Yeah.
I was raised by nannies or whatever. I'm not putting it on that, but
there's a lot. Your upbringing is everything, right?
It has a lot
like
to
me
do with
growing up with in the projects. It was tough. I'm amazed I ended up how I did. Anyway, TikTok signs deal to safeguard the app's future in America. I feel like we've been talking about this for 4 years now. They finally finished the TikTok deal. Thank
let's
God.
not talk about it since they banned us today.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the algorithm changes so I'm not getting banned. I got banned twice in 2 days. I was playing. I was doing the speed run for Resident Evil 8, and we were finally caught up in all the Resident Evils after 2 years, which is crazy. But I was like, how could they ban this? This is a video game. And then like 2 minutes later, there's a scene where a guy gets his hand chopped off, and I was like, okay, now I get it. Luckily, it wasn't a permanent suspension. It was just like a one-stream suspension, but I probably got a week suspension because of you again.
Yeah, I was going to say the point is not my fault for that one.
Yeah.
Apparently now I'm getting blamed for the one today. I opened my mouth.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this podcast?
Yeah.
You got to get another family member.
I do.
Apparently I'm a problem.
Yeah. Well, Kenny and Mike I was thinking of getting them cameras for Christmas, but then I was like, well, that's kind of more of a selfish gift for me because I'm like, God damn. But
Chris gonna be the relative not invited to Christmas
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please, here's a present that I'm basically getting myself so I can make content.
We changed the date. It's December 26th.
Yeah. Where is everybody? But basically, they signed the bill that essentially splits up TikTok. So obviously, a bunch of people own it. ByteDance still owns about 30%, as well as their other investors over there in China. But it's funny because even after all of this, Oracle, Silver Lake, and MGX all bought it, which are like huge tech companies. But with everything else, it just seems less of a Chinese and American app and just an everyone app. Like we went from we want an American TikTok to let's just have a TikTok that's owned essentially by everyone and then use it in America. So I'm hoping that the algorithms change so that I stop getting banned every freaking day. Every time I watch it, it's funny because they go, we want more gaming streamers on TikTok. And I'm like, here I am. They go, banned. Really. Thanks, TikTok. So, yeah, I think we will be seeing some. It closes January 22nd, and then by then we should be seeing all of the new algorithms and new things in your feeds and whatnot. So that's kind of exciting. I'm glad it's a new era of TikTok in a sense. So we'll see. Speaking of big platforms and monopolies, I thought this was pretty interesting. Steam will always dominate over Epic Game Store because people don't want to cheat on their home libraries. Now, this is one I want to ask my viewers because I feel exactly what they are saying. So, you and I have talked about Steam plenty of times. They're the biggest app. They're basically like the iTunes of games, Mom. There's other ones out there. You have the Epic Game Store. You have Origin, which I believe is EA. They all suck. And every time I buy a game, whether it's on Epic, on something else, I'm like, man, couldn't I just get this on my Steam library? I hate launching a game, even on the Game Pass. I like achievements, but I like having everything on Steam. I like looking at my Steam charts and just going through it. It's just the all-in-one app. I am surprised Steam has not been broken up as a monopoly. It's kind of crazy.
Well, okay, so you're saying you want to be able to do other games.
Right.
You would like to have it all under Steam.
Yeah. So like Witchfire is a fantastic game. I played it. You can buy it on Epic Games or you can buy it on Steam. And then there's GOG. That's true too. I don't even use GOG.
Yeah.
But well, sometimes I do, but very rarely. But you go and you're just like, why would I get it on here when I can get it on Steam? If it's a $10 difference, I'll do it. Also, the other big thing for Steam is the refund system. People forget about that. The refund system, when you don't like a game that you try, they give you your money back essentially right away. That's a really nice feature to have. So, with the other apps, it's like, why when I can have everything in one spot? It's like, imagine having Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, and you're just like, I want it all in one. Yeah. You can get everything from the same places. It's just you got to throw it over to there. Except for like Fortnite. There's some games that are exclusive, but I feel gross cheating on Steam every time I buy another game. Game Pass is free, but
well, even streaming movies, it's a pain in the neck. Half the time, Dad's like, "What are you watching this on?" I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, is it Prime? Is it Hulu? Is it Spotify?
Yeah. Now we have Pluto TV. You have YouTube TV. You have Hulu. You have Netflix. You have a Paramount. So,
and I got to get out of one, go into the other platform to watch that movie, and then go back to the other and switch, back and forth. It's a bit of a pain.
Yeah, it sucks. So, I was wondering what everyone's opinion is on this one, because as most of us in here are gamers, which one are you using? Is anyone using anything other than Steam as their main? I can't believe it if it's true. That's like people who are like, I'm too cool for Windows, I'm going to use Linux. I don't even know how you live with yourself.
It can't be easy because everything seems to cater towards the bigger, platforms.
Yeah. So, I think the big downside for companies who go to Steam is I think Steam takes a big cut of the sales. I think it's like 20% of the sales or something like that.
Right.
So, yeah. Speaking of indie games.
Along the lines of, go ahead.
I was just going to segue to your article.
Yeah, or I was just going to do the other one about the game console. All right, this one.
Yeah.
This one, I'll net it out because people can read it if they want to, but I didn't realize the role that publishers play in these games and how important they are. So basically, this guy launches it.
We played this game. We played this game recently, actually.
Oh, yeah? The game publishes, it's Humble Games.
Yep. Humble Bone.
All of a sudden, one day, they didn't exist anymore, or everybody shut down, they all got fired, and there was no activity. It had a positive rating on Steam. It had 1,000 user reviews. Guy's name was Chris Stair. He was one of the creators. He gets notified while he's in Kyoto that everyone he was relying on for the launch of the game was fired. So, they had the contacts, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, other necessary ones for a successful launch. And all of a sudden he's like, well, what happened to the game? Who owns it? Doesn't even know where it's going to go. Yeah. Stair and his partner, Youngquist, they're for Squid something, their group is called. The two of them.
Squid
They were paired with the Powell Group, who took over for Humble, but it wasn't as good a fit. They obviously launched it, I guess, but
oh yeah, it's a phenomenal game. If it was a bad game, he'd be screwed, but it was really good.
Right. I mean, but the sum of the substances is because he realizes just how important a part the publisher is for these games, because they walk away and he's like, what just happened? What do I do now? Kind of thing. So it was an interesting story. I mean, it's out there. The game is, you said you played it, and
yeah, we did a full stream on it. So
yeah, I heard it was good reviews, but it really just it fell apart. It was an interesting story about that. But I was leaning more towards what I was starting to say about the article, because you always talk about the consoles.
Console. Why do you say it like that? Why do you say consoles, Mom?
Well, you said
be PC cool, Mom. Be
cool.
No, where's the
anyhow? Game consoles had their lowest sales since 2005. So now in 2025, November of 2025, so they're going by last month, $695 million of them were sold, which is 27% less than last year. You were saying this in previous things, how these consoles are just not going to make the money. 1.6 million units versus 1.4 sold in November last year. November being probably the lead up to the Christmas market or the holiday sales. That's why it's the biggest. Why is this happening? Yeah,
that's really not good now that I think about it.
Average price of each one of these things for all of them up 11% $439 is the average price.
Wow.
Also, a lack of interest in games, just like you said. They all have like an LGBTQ or a whole political ideological slant.
Yeah,
That game
basically.
just not into,
Well,
right?
for the first time ever, right? We just had Black Ops 7 come out, the new Call of Duty. Usually it takes like 5 years for one of those games to even drop $1 in price. Within like 2 months, it's already 50% off. Running ads on Twitch subs is insane. I didn't do that on purpose, Henry, but go ahead. But yeah, so
what do you think was the number one or the best seller in units and in sales?
Console-wise?
Which console do you think? Yeah.
There's not that many options.
Right.
I'm going to say the Switch.
Nope.
For kids. Really?
PS5 was best selling in dollars and units. Number 2 was the Switch 2.
Switch 2. Oh, I forgot about the Switch 2. Yeah. God.
That's in money and units.
Wow.
Ready for that? We had a tie, or not a tie, but 2 took third place. 1 for units and 1 for total dollars.
Hold on, I'm going to be honest. I don't even think I can name 4 consoles. Xbox has to be number 3, right? And it's tied with someone else.
In dollars, not number of units. So they made the most money in the third place, their highest amount. I don't know if you even know this one. Next Playground.
What the?
You ever heard of that?
I've never even heard of that. What the hell is Next Playground?
Next Playground was number 3 in units.
Wow, the console game is struggling. Next Playground. I have to see what this thing even looks like.
I assumed you heard of it. Okay, you're mocking me before for not.
I do know what this is. I've seen this. I didn't know that's what it's called. Well, yeah, it's super cheap. It's actually it's an interactive system, which is pretty cool. You just kind of boom. It's like a little projector, boom, and then it does little games. Yeah. Next Playground made those Flash games. Oh, I didn't realize that. I'm gonna keep it $150. I only got the Switch because I like Mario Kart. That's it. That's the problem, and that's what we talk about all the time. Out of all the consoles, I would say that the Switch has the least amount of games. It has maybe 5, 6 now with the new Donkey Kong game, Mario Kart, whatever. But besides Mario Kart or Mario World games, which I would even consider Donkey Kong and Zelda, there's nothing. So,
but they're big. The ones you're mentioning are big.
They're big, but they're big because there's nothing else on the Switch. It's the only thing to buy because Nintendo has a vice grip on every Nintendo game possible. So, yeah, that's interesting.
Surprise. Maybe they're all turning towards PCs, like you said.
Which they rightfully should. Once that Steam machine comes out, the new Steam console, I think you're going to see even those go even further down the consoles. So,
probably.
Last night we had a big boxing match, between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. So this is the first time Jake Paul
got his jaw broken.
double in 2 places. I don't know if you saw the punch, but like his whole from here to here is just completely dislodged. Like you can see it in his mouth moved. But let me tell you, even though Jake Paul lost, it seems like he kind of won. He made $184 million just in the split from Netflix. So I know I'll give him props in the sense of first off, I'll give him his props in the sense of I do consider him to be a boxer. He's done a very good job. I do think he's trying his best to step into the ring with a heavyweight champion. An Olympic gold medalist is a pretty big deal. So even though he got his shit rocked and knocked out, essentially, I'll give him the props. But as I said, he won. He's a winner in the sense of he won $184 million and probably more from sponsors and stuff. Am I a little upset that it went 6 rounds? Yes, it probably should have been a knockout in the first round. But I think Anthony Joshua kind of toyed with him a little bit. He was on the run the whole time. So I finished stream. I ran to Discord because I wanted to see if the fight was almost over. I literally turned it on as he got punched in the face to get his jaw broken. So, but it's funny because he gets hit and knocked down. You can see Jake go, oh, like he's down. He's just like, oh, this is what a real boxer feels like. He's like, oh my God.
The broken jaw in 2 places.
Yeah, it's a good hit.
Not fun.
It was a really good hit. But as I said, props to him because there's very few people that'll step in the ring with a heavyweight boxer.
Yeah.
And the height difference is huge too. So even though it was a sanctioned fight, which means it counts on both of their records, Jake is 6'1" at best. I don't even think he's 6'1". Anthony Joshua is 6'6", and he weighs almost 30 pounds heavier than Jake. So again, you're going in with the Lions and you're getting your shit rocked.
Yeah. He was just seeing dollar signs the whole time.
Exactly. And I don't blame him. Guys, I would get my shit blasted for $184 million.
I don't know. I say that, people say that, but now you got to live your life with a broken jaw. They're going to fix it.
Yeah, they wire it.
Yeah, but it'll never be the same. You
Yeah.
Buy a new jaw, a lot of plastic surgery, which is not. Anyhow, yeah, it's a lot of money. I agree. But still.
I like, Mom, our viewers are going to think we're like billionaires or something when you go, it's only $187 million.
No, I didn't say that.
Bob, you're giving away our family secrets. Stop.
I'd rather win it in the Powerball.
Yeah, true.
Than in the ring.
Yeah, but if you're playing odds and one's literally you just have to get punched in the face for $184 million. Mom, you would see first round. If I'm in there, first round, I'm running at it with my hands down, and I'm gonna go do it. Just do it.
Put me out of my misery. Get me my money.
$184 million. God, it's funny. Yeah, that does suck. No matter how you look at that, that sucks. I think they literally just wire it through. I think that's all you can do. So, all right, guys, now we can start.
You can fix it, but it's not comfortable. It's not pleasant, and it's not fixed 100%. You got to live with that your whole life.
Yeah. All right. Any questions? Now we can do any questions. It could be about games. It could be about life. It could be this, that. Just because we finished pretty much everything. Is everyone ready for Christmas? Any Christmas plans? One of my viewers was going to Brazil for Christmas. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's warm down there, depending how far down you go. That's not Christmas. That's like Christmas in Australia. No, thank you. I don't do Christmas on a beach. I'm disappointed all the snow is gone in New Jersey. We had a little warm weather.
Oh, I was hoping for a white Christmas.
So pretty much gone. Yeah, I know. It would have been nice. It was very nice when we had it. I know it's difficult for other people, but we don't have to get out of the house anymore. So I didn't mind it so much. Dad does the driveway. I don't have to be involved in any of that.
Dad's coming tomorrow. I'm pumped. I've already planned it out. It's a whole day of just fun. It's one whole day of fun. So my dad comes tomorrow. He does the 8-hour drive. He hangs out for a little bit. I'm probably going to give my presents to Aunt Sue, Uncle Jerry whenever I see him. Well, we'll probably see him on Monday as well. And then Tuesday I come home. Kenny and Mike get in Tuesday night, right?
I thought you were coming Wednesday.
I don't think Dad and I are coming on Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. I don't know.
Because I asked him. Did you and Dad not talk about this? He's right upstairs. He comes tomorrow.
No, that's your father. He says things like in passing a month ago, I might be going down. And all of a sudden I go, well, when are you going? I told you, or I'm leaving Sunday and I'm coming back Wednesday. I actually texted him yesterday and said, hey, are you going to be back in time for church? Because we usually go to church Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
I said, if not, we'll go Christmas morning, which is taboo in our house.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to travel as much. Yeah. If you're getting up on Christmas Day for church, like that has to be up there with like top family traumas.
We can do that now that you guys are older. When you were little, there was no way we were doing that. We always went to the evening. Yeah. And now we're just so used to it that. So anyhow, he said he'd be here for that. So our
Christmases were kind of a shit show because we had to go from opening presents in the morning into the car up to Dad's side of the family, then in the car, then up to your side of the family, all one day. That's like 6 hours in a well, no, that's like 4 hours in a car. Christmas Day. As
It was
Kenny and I are
Christmas in a
fighting.
Land Cruiser.
Yeah, as Kenny and I are fist fighting in the back of the car.
No,
And
you
Michael
weren't
going,
fist-
Chris, please stop. Michael going, Chris, Kenny, please stop.
No, you didn't do that. You didn't fight.
Well, I think as we got bigger and that car got smaller, it was a little harder to. Yeah. Once we started having to use the back of that
There's
car.
a few trips where always, Kenny put the binky back in Michael's mouth. Kenny give Michael his bottle.
Yeah.
Kenny play with Mike, keep him awake so he doesn't fall asleep. Poor Kenny's stuck in the middle all the time. He had to do everything.
Well,
Just
now Mike's gotten stuck in the middle. The smallest gets stuck in the middle now. Mike doesn't have the biceps.
Well, we had the back seat. I used to like to sit in the way back. When you guys were old enough to sit in the front, I was like, I'll take the back because it was quiet. Everybody left me alone. I couldn't get near, the way back, the third seat of the Land Cruiser. But that's why I always wanted the Land Cruiser, because that third freaking seat for me in the holidays is sitting the way back. Yeah. Anyhow.
Someone come up with questions. I'm not liking how quiet it is in the chat right now. I was expecting to answer a lot of things. I don't like feeling lonely and questionless. I like Q&As.
Well, I don't mind it because I hear your dad pacing up there. He's probably packing the car and getting ready for the morning.
Dad's like, should I leave now? Should I leave up now? Show up at like 4 a.m.?
It was 7:30 before I came down here, so probably closer to 7. He's putting out his coffee mug and his stuff for the morning. I go, it's 7 o'clock.
Dad's pumped to come. Yeah. He's excited.
He's like, I don't like to leave things in the last minute.
Excited to basically sit in the house, do nothing. He and I will probably play pool in my pool room. We'll probably go to the gym, my personal gym. I want to take him to my bodybuilding gym because I want to see if he can get some ideas for the giant gym you're putting in the new house.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
He hasn't been there yet? You never taken him there?
No, I've never taken Dad to my gym. So
okay.
My parents' new house has like a 10,000 square foot gym. It's gonna be sick. Just for us.
It's funny. I won't say names because you can't edit it out, but one of your childhood school friends, one of 5 children, the parents moved down south to Florida, right? Again, 5 kids. One is already married. They're all grown. And they got a 2-bedroom house down in Florida. And I thought about that. I'm like, why would you do that with 5 kids? But the reality is, what are they going to get? A 6-bedroom house in retirement? That's true. We see your kids maybe once or twice a year for the holidays. Put them in a hotel or something. So that's just got me thinking about it. I'm like, really? Why do you?
Which is crazy. So my parents are looking at a huge house that was owned by a huge director in Hollywood. So I don't know what you are talking about, Mother. What are you talking about?
Apparently, we just have to clean the blood stains out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to hell.
Yeah,
I'm going to
Jesus.
hell. My God, I'm going to hell.
Yeah, but
on Christmas too. Shame on me.
Yeah, that's true. Mother, bad person. You're getting cold for Christmas.
It's terrible. I'm sorry.
You're gonna see my Christmas gift. You're gonna go, Chris, this is the best. This is why you're the favorite. That's what you're gonna say. Because Kenny,
aren't I looking at it right in front of me on the desk? You shipped all your gifts here.
Yeah. One should have came today. That's a cylinder. That's not a gift.
I say nothing. I just put your stuff on the desk.
Sure. Tell me what Kenny and Mike got me if it's shipped there already. No.
I'm not telling you anything. It's sworn to secrecy.
Well, does it at least have the box? Like, is it in a shipping box? Because
you're the one, you scared me because you go, oh, Mom, wrong post. Remember that? You and Michael. I was writing to you about Kenny.
Yeah. No, I said, yeah.
What are you talking about? What did I do?
I thought you were about to say. I thought you were going to say gift for Mike, and I thought you were going to say what it was, and I was like, no, Mom. See, the problem, guys. Hold on. Let me just to put this in perspective for you guys. Whenever my mom has to talk to multiple people in the family, she just adds people to the chat. So my mom has, how many group chats do we have? 12, 13? Yeah. At least. So my mom will just throw a text into one of the chats and it's just the wrong chat. Well, my mom will still text when we were all home in high school, college. My mom would send a group text for dinner. We still get the dinner text and we're all over the country. We're not coming home for dinner, Mom. So
that doesn't happen as often anymore.
Yeah, that's why I call Kenny. I'm like, it might be time to put mom in the home. The Alzheimer's.
I've texted Dad for dinner, and he yells from upstairs, "You just have to ask me."
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you're on a call or something, so I text him like dinner time. I usually have the music on too, so like I don't know if you're on a call. I don't want to yell up the stairs and you get mad because he's working,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not that bad with my text.
Well, your phone's a mess anyway. We got to figure out what's going on with your phone.
It's not a mess. I do need a new one. It's
that's what I mean. Well, right. Yeah, like you'll call and it just goes right to voicemail. I'm like, mom must be busy or she's on a call. In reality, your phone just doesn't work in certain parts of the house.
Maybe I don't want to talk to you little shits, okay?
Yeah, true. See, guys, the problem is our house is so big that the repeater can't get to certain parts of the house, so there's no service.
Well, y'all lived here how many years? Some of you longer than you should have. You know exactly
the fuck that's supposed to mean.
Damn it. Don't you know somebody's going to call me right when Dad and I sit down for dinner.
It's an emergency.
I'm like, what is wrong with these kids? They lived here how many years? And they got a call. And each time, and it's not just you, Chris, each time it's like, oh, sorry, I forgot. How could you forget? We eat this.
You know what I say? I go, different time zone. That's going to be my new excuse. Oh, I forgot what time zone we're in.
Right. Or when I'm cooking dinner, that's another one. I'm like, well, could you stop what you're doing and go check something for me? I'm like, no, I'm cooking dinner. It's, you know what time it is. This is what we eat.
Right.
Anyhow, you would think that, our schedule changes. Your father, it never changes.
Yeah, it's true.
It's literally the same time.
All right, Mom, we got no questions for this stream. I'm surprised.
Well, we went through a lot.
We did. We did an hour.
A lot of articles.
We did probably an hour 40, I would say, of articles. So.
Yeah, I think that was a lot for people. We overwhelmed them.
Yeah. So maybe we tired everyone out. They're like, oh, we don't want to hear these guys anymore. But this is probably this could be the last stream of the year, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Depending on when I come back. But I'm doing a lot of traveling. So this will probably be the official last stream. As I said, Dad's here. I'm going to do some stuff at home. But yeah, so it's been a good year. It's been a solid year.
You already said Happy Hanukkah last week, so Merry Christmas this week.
And whatever other holidays are this week.
Possibly Happy New Year if we don't.
Yeah, true. We'll see you guys in 2026. Well, you'll definitely see Mom in 2026. But maybe I might be back the week before New Year's, so we'll see. But other than that, guys, the only things I have to promote, obviously the podcast from last week, so go check that out. We had, what was Wednesday? What did I post on Thursday? Oh, the Christmas Eve escape room for Escape Simulator 2 on Thursday. And then today I posted the speed run for Resident Evil 7's DLC, Not a Hero. So go check those out. I'm going to try and keep posting into next week just to finish out the videos that we have. I'm not doing any more recordings for the most part. So, yeah, social media, promo codes, stream links, and Discord all down below. And hopefully we will see you guys soon and maybe even in 2026.